All right, you've been surfing Zillow and you've seen some cheap homes in the town of Englewood, Colorado. You may not even know where that is, but you're thinking, man, if that's more affordable than Denver, I'll take it. Not so fast, my friend. We are going to take a deep dive into Englewood, what it's like living there, and how those home prices might be a little bit misleading. Let's go. Guys, I'm Tim Kampmann. Welcome back to the channel, Everything Denver, Colorado, where we talk everything Denver real estate. So if you're thinking of a relocation out here to Denver or the surrounding suburbs and you need a guide, please hit me up at the information on the screen. I would love to help you out on your move in and around Denver. We have people reaching out all the time and we love helping you with your real estate needs. Okay, so talking Englewood, Colorado. First of all, let's identify where it is if you're not quite familiar with the Denver metro area. Right here, Englewood is just a suburb south of Denver. It's very close. It's kind of intertwined and borders the city of Denver, and it doesn't have a huge footprint. That's might be why it's not quite as well known as some of the other places around the metro area. But Englewood has very much an urban vibe to it. You're not gonna, even though it's technically a suburb of Denver, a lot of the things in it are very walkable. You're gonna have easy commutes into the Denver area, and you're gonna have very much an urban vibe versus a suburban vibe. Comes with its positives and negatives, obviously. So positive, you're gonna be able to get into Denver fairly easily. You have a pretty robust public transportation system in the town, in the city of Englewood to get in and around Denver fairly easily, whether that's the RTD bus or the multiple light rail stations that are there. But some drawbacks of having that more urban footprint and urban vibe to your city, there's not as many parks and recreation things to do around there. So if you do live in Englewood, but you want some of those outdoor amenities and activities to do, a lot of those are probably going to be better. You're going to have to travel outside your city to do those. A town like Littleton or Lakewood on the west end or into the foothills. So let's talk about some of those home prices that you've been seeing. You've probably noticed you can get a single family home for under $500,000 in a lot of those areas, where if you have been searching for Denver real estate for a while, you have seen that it's kind of hard to find a great home under $500,000. They are available, so if you're struggling to find those, please hit me up. But there are more options available under that $500,000 price point for a single family detached home. Now, that comes with its own drawbacks, and here's why I think Englewood is not an affordable city to live in, is because most of the homes that you're going to find that are at that lower price point are significantly smaller, and you're paying a higher price per square foot than you would be in one of the other suburbs that surround Englewood, say Littleton or Centennial. A lot of the homes built in Englewood were significantly older. They were built in the 40s and 50s. You're going to find a lot of brick-style ranch, which is appealing to some people, but you are going to find a much smaller home. And unless it's been renovated, it's not going to be up to the current standards and trends of having open concept and having some of the modern fixtures and finishes. For new construction, Englewood is also an area that's probably not going to be quite the right fit. Most of the new construction around Englewood is for scrapes. Let's say a home that was in dilapidated condition and an investor bought it, scraped it, and built a brand new home. There are some of those going up around. Since Englewood is an older city here in Denver, we do see a lot of revitalization going on. And you may also find some newer townhomes or condominiums. Because Englewood is landlocked, it's surrounded by other cities and townships around it. So Englewood borders Denver on the north and has very much a Denver vibe to it. So that's why it has a more of an urban feel. It borders Littleton on the south end, which is definitely more of a suburban feel with more outdoor amenities and activities and parks. And then you have, whether it's Aurora or Greenwood Village or Centennial, kind of bordering on the east side. And those are a little bit, Greenwood Village, much more a high-end suburban area. You'll notice that the city of Englewood on the map here is very kind of choppy and just has a weird shape to it. And there's also some areas of Englewood that are part of the city of Englewood that are not shown on the map, that are actually detached from what you see here out on the east end. So even if you're in a town of like Lone Tree or Parker or Aurora or Centennial, some of the little pockets of those areas have Englewood as the mailing address or as the city that it's located in. But for the purposes of this video, we're just going to focus on kind of the city of Englewood proper in this location here. Don't get me started on why there's all these little pockets of different towns and different places. It's all tied to tax revenue. But we don't need to get into that today. So other pros to Englewood, walkability. Since you do have more of an urban vibe here in the city, yeah, you do have a lot of restaurants and bars and other shopping that is very close to you. Now, as far as recreation goes, you're not going to have a lot of that in the city of Englewood. You're probably going to be traveling outside, whether that's the foothills in the Lakewood or Morrison area, or maybe down to Littleton or Centennial, where there's a lot more parks and a lot more family-friendly activities. Like I said, Englewood has kind of an intertwined feel of Denver where you're going to have more of an urban feel, and that does attract maybe a younger crowd that is not looking for the suburban feel just yet. Let's talk about some of the cons of Englewood. One, the home prices I don't think are very affordable, even though they're a lot less than other places of Denver. What you're paying for and what you actually get, I think you're not getting as good a value as you could find in a Centennial or a Littleton, moving just a little bit further out from that Denver hub. Another con to Englewood is being so close to Denver. While it has its positives, it also has some big drawbacks. You're very intertwined with some of the problems that Denver has, whether that be homelessness or other things that are going on in the city of Denver. A lot of that spills over the border into Englewood. So you are going to deal with some of that. You are going to deal with a lot of panhandlers and people, on the side of the road asking for money. The other con is you're going to have less recreation close by. You are in a city, so you will have all the city services and a few rec centers available to you. But if you're looking for more outdoor recreation things to do, that's not going to be available to you in the city of Englewood. You're going to have to travel outside of that. But the biggest reason, the biggest drawback I see for living in Englewood is the future value of homes in that area. Now, real estate generally is a great investment for a lot of people, and if you are looking to buy something and eventually rent it out, I think this is a very good market for that. You're very close to an urban area, you have public transportation, so rental values will remain high in this area. But if you're looking to buy a home, maybe fix it up a little bit and then resale it, you're going to have a better return on investment in a town of Centennial or Littleton or Lakewood. You're not going to get quite as good a resale in the city of Englewood. And the reason for that is just the reputation Englewood has. I was out with some clients, and this is not specifically to Englewood, but we were looking for townhomes and condominiums on the east side of Denver, and we were kind of bordering Aurora, and we saw a few of the homes in Aurora, and they were significantly lower priced. And they're like, hey, this is just across the street. Why is there such a drastic price difference from the homes we saw over there versus the homes we're seeing over here? And I said that, hey, the mailing address for these homes is Aurora. Even though they're almost identical, this one with the mailing address of Aurora is not as desirable to a lot of people as the one that has a mailing address in Denver. So just a reputation, Aurora's not quite as vibrant or as well regarded as the city of Denver. Same thing with Englewood. It's not as vibrant of a place to live. It doesn't have the reputation for increasing values and increasing business. It is landlocked, so there's not going to be any expansion into other areas. So the drawback for buying a home for resale purposes, I think you're better off into looking into a few of the other surrounding suburbs versus investing in Englewood. What we have seen over the last few years is a lot of investors buy up a lot of the real estate and either turn it into rental properties or completely scrape and redevelop the area, bringing in a mix of residential and commercial. That could be good or bad. Negative is it's taking away some of the affordable housing that was in the area at one time and making it less affordable, but it is bringing in new jobs from some of these retail spaces and new businesses coming into the area. So there you have it, guys. Englewood, Colorado. Maybe not one of the best known towns here around the Denver metro area, but if you are looking for a little bit more information on it, maybe you have found a home there that you're like, man, this seems like a really good deal, Tim. Could you help me out and tell me about it? Hit me up at the information on the screen. I would love to help be your resource and help you find your forever home, whether that's Englewood, Littleton, Centennial, or any of the amazing suburbs in and around Denver.